A scandal. That's how one relative is describing the chain of events that led to the imminent closure of a St Austell care home at the centre of an undercover expose. It was announced last week the home would be closing after the BBC programme Panorama raised safeguarding concerns and a multi-agency investigation was carried out. Well, tonight, BBC Spotlight has learned other homes run by the Morleigh Group have since been branded inadequate by the care regulator. And as Tamsin Melville reports, questions are being asked about why it took so long for action to be taken.
What exactly went on behind the windows of this St Austell care home is causing a lot of heartache and anger.
All I've heard is that they are the sort of things that nobody would want their relatives to suffer. It really is a scandal that things have been allowed to get to this stage.
I've been speaking to relatives of loved ones here at Clinton House and other Morleigh Group care homes across Cornwall. They're obviously very worried and have a lot of questions. They want to know why, after a series of complaints and poor reports, it took an undercover expose to lead to the drastic action that's happened here. Clinton House is being closed after an investigation by the BBC's Panorama programme found evidence of cruelty and neglect at this and one other nursing home run by the Morleigh Group. Sylvia is one of the residents yet to be moved out. As she struggles to try and find a new home for her mum, Christine tells me she first raised concerns about Clinton House back in 2013, and it closed for admissions, but only for a short time.
The authorities in Cornwall do have to answer some very tough questions, because lots of the concerns that are being raised now have been being raised in the past for years.
It's only 6 months since Clinton House was last inspected by the Care Quality Commission, or CQC. Despite noting continuing concerns about staffing and finding the home was not entirely safe, Clinton House was rated as requiring improvement and stayed open. 3 other Morleigh Group homes, including St Teresa's in Callington, have also been under investigation in recent weeks. Today, the CQC told us they're being downgraded to inadequate.
We've worked for 6 years reporting this group of care homes, but nothing is actually changing with the regulator. They are not taking people's concerns seriously. And then the families come to us, we report things, and then the CQC act. It shouldn't take the pressure of Your Voice Matters to make CQC act on concerns.
At a press conference today, Cornwall Council insisted it's acted appropriately and diligently at all times. But
I want to be clear that I'm sorry, and I'm sorry that the standard of care provided by the Morleigh Group has fallen far short of what residents, their relatives and the general public have a right to expect.
The council says it would never make placements in care homes rated inadequate. That leaves the future of the Morleigh Group's homes and that of many vulnerable residents very uncertain tonight. Tamsin Melville, BBC Spotlight.
Well, in a statement, the Morleigh Group told us its investigations to date, and indeed before the receipt of information from BBC Panorama, have resulted in the removal of staff involved, together with a thorough review of systems and procedures. It says it'll be issuing a further statement after the programme on Monday. Well, Debbie Ivanova is from the inspectors, the Care Quality Commission. I asked her why, despite concerns from relatives, it took a Panorama investigation before they finally took action.
Well, I'm afraid I must disagree with you, because what we found was that we have been monitoring this service very carefully. What we do and what we must do is give the provider the opportunity to improve those services. This provider has been given that opportunity and has squandered it, has failed to take advantage of it.
People will be asking why it was allowed to deteriorate for so long before you took this action. Why did it have to get so bad that you then took action to close it? Because only 6 months ago, your own inspection said that it wasn't entirely safe. What does it take for alarm bells to start ringing at the CQC?
It is not our responsibility to improve the service. Our responsibility is to tell the service what it is doing wrong. When it requires improvement, which it was, that means they must take that action.
It wasn't even given your lowest possible rating last time round. It was given the requires improvement rating, and 5 out of 6 of the homes run by the Morleigh Group have that rating. Why should anyone have any confidence in the rating system or indeed the CQC itself?
The services have now all been inspected. We had started to inspect 2 of them before we had the information from you, because we were listening to the concerns from families and people who have been telling us. All of these services have now been inspected, and we are really concerned about the standards enforced.
Okay, let me be clear on this. This is an important point. So those other homes you've inspected now, they're no longer rated as require improvement. What are they rated as now?
The inspection reports will be in the public domain next week, but the rating of these services will be inadequate.
So they are all in that lowest category now?
They are, yes. And this is because the provider has failed to recognise and respond to the concerns that have been identified to them.
Cornwall Council has apologised this afternoon for its role in this. Do you think as an organisation, and do you accept as an organisation, that you have added to the stress of the residents and their families who now have to move out of Clinton House, and do you feel the need to also apologise?
No, I am sorry about the situation for the families. I'm sorry they've had to experience inadequate care, but I do not feel that the Commission has acted wrongly in this case. We have been vigilant in showing what the problems have been in the service. We have listened to the concerns of people, and we don't want people to have to leave their homes. So whilst absolutely it's not good enough that those families have been there, the provider must take full responsibility for failing to provide the care that people needed.
Debbie Ivanova, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.